And welcome to Crochet Hooks. Please enjoy our free tutorials with just one of a 24-part series on teaching you how to crochet. Subscribe to start receiving our 24 courses that are delivered to your email inbox every few days. By the time you're done, you'll know the ins and outs of crochet. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So now let's get crocheting with Curtsy. And welcome back to the Curtsy Crochet Hook program. I'm your host Mikey. Today lesson number 17 is the side saddle stitch. Again, we're going to be working by grouping our stitches together to create fan-like shapes. Now, in the last tutorial, we learned how to make the Catherine wheel stitch, which the fans went up or they went down. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to show you to make the fans go either one side or another. So this actually adds a lot of variation. I've done this kind of stitch before as a table runner. It looks sharp. Love this. This is lesson number 17, and it's a side saddle stitch. In the side saddle stitch, we're going to be using Bernat Mosaic, and this is a 5.0 millimeter Curtsy crochet hook. What we're just going to do is just going to start off. So let's get on our slip knot, and we taught this in tutorials before, so let's do that really quickly. And this pattern is in sets of 6, so no matter what you do, you have to keep it in sets of 6. This doesn't count as 1, so let's go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 is the determination of the pattern actually repeating. That's why we say sets of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you just got to keep going as long as you want to go at whatever project you're doing. 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then stop when you get long enough, and then let's move on to the next line. In this line, we're now going to come back and we're going to start doing the side saddle. So I want you to pinch with your finger and your thumb down, and I want you to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now the side saddle is very much like the Catherine wheel stitch, everything like that. It's going to start pinwheeling or being a focal point right in the center point. So right where I'm pinching is where my first stitch is going to be, and we want to double crochet. So wrapping, let's move my thumb out of the way, and we want to put your hook in. You want 2 strings on top, 1 on the bottom, and we want to double crochet as normal. So it's 1. So we want to do that 2 more times for a total of 3. So let's double crochet again. And again. So we got 3 in there. And now that we're at the top, I want you to chain 1. And now I want you to look at this post. Okay, these are the things in between the middle, like we discussed in the rib and the ripple stitch. And I want you to start doing a double crochet around this post. So it's going to go sideways. So going right in between the post. Okay. And we're going to double crochet, so that was 1, and you want a total of 3 going in there. And now what we need to do is this on the chain, I want you to skip over 2. So 1, 2, and go to the 3rd for a single crochet, and that'll spread out that side saddle formation going on. Okay, so let's spread it out just like so. You see the ones up on the side, these ones are going over to the side. And now I want you to skip over 2 more. So 1, 2, go to the 3rd, and we want to do 3 double crochets all within the same hole. So that was 1, it's going into the exact same hole for 2. Oops, I'm going to let that one go. Excuse me. And this is 2, just when I thought I was on a roll. And we got 3, and now we're going to finish up at the top, and we want to chain 1 like we did before. Chain 1, and then we want to come into the side again. So this is the repeat pattern all the way across. Okay, and when we chain, so we're going to double crochet 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to now skip over again. This is the same what we just did before. So 1, 2, go to the 3rd for a single crochet in, skip over 2, 1, 2, go to the 3rd with 3 double crochets, and I want you to repeat exactly what was done earlier, and we just keep doing that all the way across. So no matter how big your project, I want you to go all the way across using this formation. We're coming to the end of the line, and I'm still just continuing on the same pattern, and if you actually counted right, you actually will end up right on the very final stitch being proper. And even if you're not, you can always fake it and do what girls do best and like to fake it. Whether that's appropriate comment for this channel, I have no idea, but I say that when I'm doing my live teaching, and it seems to be a very popular thing to say, because sometimes with these crochet patterns, sometimes you really gotta wing it as you go. So what we now have is that it just happens to be working out, so we got 1, 2, go to the third, and we want a single crochet down. So if it worked out for you, you should end up with 1 single crochet on the very end. And so basically this is exactly what you have to start with. So let's turn the material and work our way back up. And what we need to do is repeat exactly what we did way back over here. If you remember, we already started over with a 3 in the row and then going over, and that's what we want to do over here as well. So every row will be the exact identical to what we just already did. So let's do it again anyway. So we got 1, 2, 3. So you chained up your 3, going into the same pivot point down there. This is a single crochet. We want to do that 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, and 3. And now what I want you to do is I want you to create that actual sideways motion. So let's chain 1, going into the side again. So remember, the side one has 3. Okay, so we got that going on, and now this is the interesting thing. Remember how we skipped over down here to do the single crochet way down in the bottom and the ends? Well, this time it's actually going to be 1, 2. It's actually going to be right exactly where you separated everything back out. Okay, so that was the chain 1 in between turning over sideways. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It's right at the very top. Okay, so let's try that again. So we want to skip down to the bottom. Okay, so 1, 2 with the third one. It just happens to be on the bottom, if that makes any sense to you. And we want to put 3 double crochets right in a row. So now basically no matter what you're doing, we're only playing on the tops and the bottoms of what has already been established on the line below. We're now going to do sideways, so we'll chain 1, going into the side for another 3. Okay, and we want to stretch it over. So going over to the top. Oops, I only grabbed 1 string, going over to the top. Okay, and then again. So coming down in the bottom, just like so. So just continue to do the same. We'll meet back up in the end where we'll repeat again, just showing you how to get started when you're doing a line. Okay, on the very end of this one, see how you don't have a lot of space left? Well, right on the very end, we're going to go into the chain, and we're only going to do half of what you should be doing. So we're only going to put in 3 double crochets right in a row and call that the end of the line. Okay, so that's exactly what we have. So let's turn it, and now this time we only want to chain 1, and we want to put a single crochet in the top. Okay, and this is just like it's acting in between 2 top pieces, just like so. So the very first stitch is actually at the bottom here, and we're going to put in 3 double crochets like we have already been doing all the way along. We want to chain 1 because we're now going to turn sideways and then come in through the side post there for another 3. Okay, and now what we want to do is skip over to the top again and begin again. So that's exactly how you do the side saddle, and if you choose the right colors, even variegated yarn, this can actually be really quite something as well. And it gives it a kind of unpredictable look. It gives a 3-dimensional look, almost like leaves in your pattern. Really kind of fun and out there, and it's actually very simple once you get past the first couple of lines and understand this pattern.
So there you have it, lesson number 17 with the side saddle stitch.
I'm now going to schedule you for lesson number 18. Lesson number 18, we're going to do the box block stitch. It's actually not a lot of work when you actually think about it. It's actually got two separate lines, and in one line you pretty well got a holiday because there's not much to it, and then the second line is where all your work is. So really, you kind of got a holiday and work, but it absolutely looks amazing. So let's schedule you for lesson number 18, and that's the box block stitch.